here we are after going back to the bench and cutting another piece of whipping twine off at 2 meters, which is barely adequate, just enough to get up to a 20 millimeter length of turns. And this step is pretty self-explanatory. Basically what you do is come over here to the conch line where the twine first emerged, and then follow that around, and that's where the last turn is inserted. The needle is inserted, and then you go through the strand and then down along the conch line, along the score here, and then into the strand on the opposite side, and then again exiting the strand on the opposite side, the idea being to emerge here at the score. And then we'll come back up. Now, what distinguishes this approach from others, and thank you again, Mr. Toss, if you're up there here and you can hear me, right here is usually where whippings tend to come apart. So what Mr. Toss has made a point to mention in his writings is at this point. We'll go through it, but at this point you come down over, go underneath, and then taking a hitch around this strand, go back down, and that secures it in place. So without talking anymore here, I'm going to go ahead and pull this through, and I find that pulling directly on the jaw saves you a little bit of strain on your wrist. You're going to have these strands that want to override and twist sometimes when you're doing this. Just be patient with it. Watch them as you're drawing them down, and you can set them to one side or another and pull on each strand separately over here. You'll develop a feel for it. Go ahead and snug that down, and then yeah, this is barely going to be long enough. We may run out yet. Okay, coming up here, get all the twist out of it. Enter this strand here at the conch line, and home with the palm. Once you get this palm broken in a little bit more, and do this more often, you won't feel as inclined to take it off, and you'll be ideally using a longer needle, a proper sailmaker's needle, rather than this dollar store piece of crap. And come out and try not to snag the twine on the way out. That's right about where you want to exit, right on top of the twine. And again, this is usually where the half hitch gets taken around this twine.